Hey everybody, good morning. Well, it is the day after the big storm, Hurricane Lorena, and we still might get some showers the rest of today, but I am working on a project. So as you probably saw in the video about Hurricane Lorena, we had some water infiltration into the villas, and some of that was through the roof. So while the roof is still wet, it's been soaking, so it's gonna help break up the dirt up there. I am gonna get up there, power wash the roof to get ready to reseal it. We're Douglas and Esperanza, and we decided to leave our lives in the US and move to magical Loreto, Mexico, where we built our boutique resort Pufferfish Villas from the ground up and work running it and saving to expand in the future. Please come with us to follow our journey and live before you die. All right, so I've already been up here doing some work with the power washer. Got the power washer out here, and as you can see, between the area, the corner that I've cleaned and the rest of the roof, it's pretty dirty. Also, you can see that there's a bunch of cracks that you couldn't see because they weren't opened up yet, and there's some really bad cracks right here. They're going to need to be filled. But before we can do that, the first step, power wash this whole roof, get it all cleaned like this, and then we can work at sealing all the cracks, and then we'll put a coating on it. Now, this original coating that was put on here was put on very, very thin. I'm not surprised it only lasted 2 years. This stuff is supposed to go on depending on what you use, but we're going to use a very high-end system. It's supposed to go on probably about a half or a quarter of an inch to 3/8 of an inch thick, and it produces a rubber membrane over the top of the roof. So not supposed to go on transparent thick. So hopefully, once we reseal this with the right material at the right process, we'll be good for maybe 10 years. So that'll make it a lot easier on me, because I don't want to reseal this thing every 2 years. All right, I'm going to get to power washing. All right, I got this entire roof of Villa 1 all power washed, and you can see there's some spots that were really bad. This is the spot, I believe, that is leaking, or this is the spot that is leaking inside. You can see a deep crack there. All these spots, and we might have to do a little bit more of getting that off, and then we will be ready to reseal this baby. All right, now I have to go over onto Villa 2 and make that dirty roof look the same as this one. Good morning. I am headed down this morning to get started on the roof sealing project. We're going to start the first part of the project today, which is to fill all the cracks and gaps on the roof. So we are resurfacing this roof. This is the first time I've ever done this, resurfacing a concrete roof. Now, I've done a lot of roofing with asphalt shingles in the US. I've done many complete houses roofing, so I've got experience there, but not doing the rolled on elastomeric coatings. So I did a lot of research of types. So we decided to go with a polyurethane coating for this roof. Now, the top of the line would be to go with a silicone coating, and That is super expensive, many times more than a polyurethane coating. And a polyurethane coating is probably going to cost about $1,500 for the materials for these two roofs. So it's not cheap at all. But it is a step up from the acrylic coating, which is basically what this is, which is basically thick paint. So that's what acrylic is, basically thick paint. Polyurethane is a step up from that. It's going to last a little longer. Acrylic like this will only last 1 or 2 years. Polyurethane can last 5 to 10 years depending how it's applied. And then silicone can last 10 to 20 years depending if it's applied correctly. So we're going with the middle grade. Hopefully we will do a very good application as per all the instructions, and we'll get a 10-year life out of this roof. All right, I got the sealer up here, the crack sealer. I just made an attempt to do this crack sealer on the roof in the sun, and I thought I could take it, but there's no way. It's about 10 o'clock, probably 92, 93, 94 degrees, and between the sun on me and the sun bouncing off the white surface, blasting me from underneath, I'm already getting heat exhaustion. I'm getting really sick to my stomach. Starting to get the first symptoms of heat exhaustion. So I wanted to get this done today because we have another hurricane coming, Hurricane Mario, and we've got 4 days, and I need to get this crack sealer on. So what's probably gonna happen, I'm gonna do this tonight after it gets dark and do it with a headlamp, or early tomorrow morning, like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. get up and do it then. Probably 2 or 3 a.m. Then it'll be a little cooler. All right, we're gonna start on this first window to perfect the process here. And what I'm gonna do is cut this caulking just a little bit up from the bottom, because it's leaking in these bottom corners here is where the majority of the leaking is happening. And I don't want to have to recaulk the whole window when I don't need to. So I really only need to recaulk this bottom corner. I'm going to recaulk the whole bottom of the window. Oh, it's got water still, right? You see the water right here? It's got quite a bit of water there in that corner still. And I just pull this off. I already did the other side, but see how easy that caulking came off? It shouldn't come off that easy. And so I need to get this dried out and cleaned up super good. So the fact that water's still there and we're like 3 days after the storm, I can show you why it is right here. When they caulked all the bottom of these windows. And what is happening is water is getting in where the joints are here in the windows. Water is getting from here. You can even see there's a little gap there. See the little white back in there? Where the water is getting in, down, and then it gets under this sill and it's caulked on both sides, so it has nowhere to go, so it just sits in there. This should have weep holes or nothing whatsoever on this bottom sill. And in fact, I think I'm going to remove the caulking on all these bottom sills from about here all the way across to let any water that gets under that sill come outside instead of going inside. And that will help the problem. This has become somewhat of a critical issue because there is another storm coming, and they think it is going to be a hurricane. They've already named it Mario, and it's going to be here in about 1 week or 6 days or 7 days is what they're now forecasting. And it could be as bad or worse than the last storm. And the other issue is we are going to have guests staying in both villas when that storm hits. So we cannot have this happen again because this villa is all torn up as the water came in here and we got water all over the place. We can't have this with guests in here. So we have to fix all of these water leaks before it rains again when we have guests, so that we don't have any problems with all this going on again. So I've got a lot of work to do. Got to do the roof, got to do these windows, and get this place sealed up tight. All right, good morning, everybody. I am back out here. It is a little after 3 a.m. and I am going to get that crack filling finished that I tried to start yesterday. It was just so hot up there. I decided I need to come down here early in the morning or late in the night, whatever you want to think of it, and get this stuff done. I am looking at the stuff that I sealed yesterday and looking fantastic. It's all hardened up and sealed, so that's good. Now we just have to get all the rest of this done and get it done before it gets too hot out here. I got this villa number 2 roof done. Took me an hour and a half. I have about another hour and a half until the sun comes up, and I've got to do that whole villa. So it's going to be close, but I'm going to head over there and see if I can get it all done before the sun comes up, because this is much better than baking. All right, I beat the sun. The sun is just getting ready to come over the trees. In fact, you can see there's a little tiny bit of it over there on the wall. Just going to hit the roof in another 5 or 10 minutes. And I just finished up with all of the crack filling. It is 6:39, so 3.5 hours, mostly in the dark, of filling these cracks. And all this white section is where I filled up cracks, and big sections that delaminated and broke off. Got those all fixed, and these that I did first are already drying, starting to dry. And we got this roof done. We also got the roof done. That's the one roof Villa 2 that I did first. And all of the big stuff there. Now, all the cracks that are left, there are cracks that are left. These are just tiny surface cracks, and they don't go down deep. Any of the cracks that went down deep into the concrete, I put on the crack filler. And a crack filler is basically an acrylic crack filler with a fiberglass mesh, shredded fiberglass in it. So it's supposed to hold up and try to bind those cracks and stretch a little bit over those cracks if they open up in the future. All right. Oh my gosh, a lot of work, but I beat the sun. So we need to let this dry for 24 hours. That's what the specs say. Now, when I do these projects, I don't listen to what anybody else tells me or anything, because everybody you ask at the store, everybody else you ask, all tells you a different thing. I go to the websites for the products I'm using, and I look, and they all have spec sheets that have application instructions on them. And those application instructions have specific specs on drying time, setup time, temperature of application, thickness of application, cure time between coats, and all that type of thing. So I believe what the engineers who design these products put into those spec sheets, and that's what I go by. And so the spec sheet for this crack filler says to wait 24 hours, let it cure 24 hours before you put the next coating, which is the polyurethane waterproofing coating on. And that's what we're going to do. So I've got a bunch of caulking to do still down in the villas. We have the AC on in the villas. Esperanza actually came down earlier this morning, did some work, cleaned the umbrellas. She washed all these umbrellas down in the pitch black. She was out there with a headlamp just like me, and when she put them in front of this light over here, there's a light on the side of the thing to light it up. And she was working out here too, taking advantage of the cooler temperatures. It's only like 83 degrees was the low last night. So 83 degrees, 70% humidity, I think. So not too bad for how bad it's been. All right, let's give this a try and see how good I can do. All right, got the caulk started, got it cut, and so then we're going to I'm trying to get a lot of caulk down in there also. Now you can see why I'm not very good at doing this. Okay, and then we'll do this side. All right. Now right away, see, I probably don't have enough caulk because I used quite a bit for this, and this is one window. All right. Try to get it up on that side. I'm trying to wet my finger in between to. Oh man, this is not turning out good. This is not turning out good. Got way too much on there. Oh my gosh. Huh. Well, oh my gosh, how did I get so much on there? No wonder why I used so much. All right, so now we will remove the tape and see how this looks. And the tape has a bunch of caulk on it, so you gotta be careful with it. Let's take a look at the results. The bottom edge doesn't look too bad at all because I taped it. The top edge does not look very good at all. So, I don't want to tape the top edge of all the rest of the windows, but I think I need to, or else they're all gonna look pretty nasty, like this one. Like it's all bad along the top. But all in all, it's not horrible, not great. I'll tape the rest of the top of the windows and then all the rest of them will turn out good. So I'm gonna tape one, do it, and then I'll show you taking off the tape and we'll see how much better it looks. Here's the second window and we're going to pull off this tape and see how it looks. Hopefully it will be better than the first attempt. Looking a lot better as expected. Gotta be careful, we got the curtains, don't wanna it twisted over and got me. So now I gotta be careful because I got it on my thumb. I don't want to get it on anything else. Okay, now the next, the bottom layer. Let's check out how Rev 2 did. And Rev 2 looks much better, much cleaner. So I will tape all the rest of the windows and on the tops as before I do them. And then we'll do all the rest of these windows and get them done. Okay, I got all the windows done, and even though I am really bad at caulking, they didn't come out too bad. Now let's hope that by recaulking the inside of the windows, taking the caulk out of the bottom of the outside of the windows, that this will solve the problem with the windows leaking. Let's hope so. I wish they made the windows differently here, but they don't. So we just have to deal with what we can get. I have one villa done. I have to do another villa. Luckily, my bottle of caulk, tube of caulk, made it all the way through this villa, and I have one more tube, so I should have enough to do both villas without going to the store. So it's lunchtime. I think I'm gonna go up eat some lunch, and then I'll hit the next villa, and we'll get these windows all sealed up, ready for the next storm. Well, it is sealing day, and as you can see behind us, behind me, we got both the roofs sealed with the first coat of polyurethane. And here's the polyurethane right here. And went on perfect. We got just about the right amount of polyurethane on. And I did one roof and Esperanza did the other roof this morning. We got done right before it really started getting sunny and hot. And Esperanza is cooling down the pole. She got really overheated. I am hot but not overheated yet. So We got to let this first layer cure, and I've got to go look up and see what the max time we can wait. I don't remember. There's a max time between coats. If that's more, 24 hours or more, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning to do the second coat, because trying to do it in the sun is gonna be just killer, trying to paint that on the sun. All right, we are back out here. It is day 2 of the waterproofing of the roof. Now, I didn't show you much yesterday because we just got out here, tried to get this thing done. Today, we kind of know how long it's going to take. And so we're out here, 5 a.m. We got lights set up so that we can see what we're doing up here. And you see the first coat's already on. It's a little tiny bit sticky, which is good. That means that it is not fully cured, because we want it to be that way so that the second coat will adhere to it. And Esperanza just going around the edges, make sure we got all the edges really good. And I am going to start rolling on this sealer again. We're gonna try to beat the sun. So I'm gonna get to work. I'll show you when. Oh, I was also gonna show you, yesterday I put these marks here because I knew how much sealer we had. I knew how much was supposed to go on the roof, but it was hard to tell how thick to make it because we don't have any experience doing this. So I put these marks because we need to use a half a can per 1/3 of the roof. So I split this up so we could see kind of how much we needed to put on, and it worked perfectly because we got about the perfect amount on. And today we're gonna do the second coat. Well, beat the sun again today. Starting out early. Beat it by about half an hour, which is good. Got these all second coated. Only thing we have left to do is the tops of the platforms for the air conditioners, which I'm gonna do by hand in the next couple of days and seal those up. This has to dry first, so it'll be tomorrow probably. I'll get up here and do all the tops of the air conditioner platforms tomorrow morning. And any other touch up where I see if there happens to be anything that looks thin or anything else, then I'll do that then. Man, I am just soaked to the bone. So all in all, this went pretty good for our first time waterproofing a roof like this. You know, my big concern was trying to get the material on, the polyurethane roof waterproofing on at the right thickness so that we got enough on, but we didn't use it all up and not have enough to finish. And by splitting the roof into thirds both ways, I put marks on it both ways into thirds. That gave me a good measuring stick because we knew that each third got 1/2 a bucket. So as we were pouring it out and then doing the rolling it in, we were able to gauge how thick it was going on by that, and it worked perfect. Literally everything is perfect. Uh-oh, that dragonfly better not get down in there and get stuck. All right, so it wasn't easy. It is hot, and we are we had to get this done because there's another hurricane coming, and it's going to be here on Sunday. Today is Wednesday, so we need to get this thing done, and it needs 2 or 3 days to cure before it gets pounded by water. So we need to get it done by today. We made a really big effort to do this as per the instructions. And so this material, if done per the instructions, they say it has a 10-year life. Now, I don't think they warranty it, but you know, it's supposed to have a 10-year life on the material. And that is to do one application in one direction at 1/2 liter per meter squared, and then to do the another coat on the orthogonal direction, Esperanza likes that word orthogonal. She said I'm a nerd for using it, but actually perpendicular, so the other direction, at 1/2 a liter per meter squared. And that's exactly the rate that we put that on. We did it exactly like that with the amount of cure time in between, the recoat time. So everything was done by the letter of the directions for the manufacturer. So we're hoping that this will give us a 10-year roof life on this roof. And we'll have to see how that works out. I guess 10 years from now, we'll let you know if the roof has to be done before then. I guess if it has to be done before then, you'll see it on the channel if you're watching in the next 6, 8, 10 years. So it is the final day of the re-roof waterproofing project, and we have all the coats on the roof itself now. Let's see, and it's looking nice. So the last thing I've got to do this morning before the sun comes up is to just do these platforms that go around the condensers for the air conditioner sit on. So I'm going to get those done with a brush real quick before the sun comes up. Okay, got it done. All sealed up around the bottom of these AC condensers. So those are both done. And now I need to get over the other roof and get those ones done before the sun comes up. I am so happy that I just finished the re-roofing or re-waterproofing project. Oh my gosh. We've been working on this for a week and been getting up at 3 a.m. for the last 4 mornings to work on these roof coatings before the sun comes up. And everything is done and looking fantastic now. So I think there's about 0 chance anything's gonna leak through these roofs, and that gives us some peace of mind with our guests coming today. We have guests arriving today. So huge project completed, our biggest project of the summer. And yeah, we're done with all our projects. We have guests arriving today and the start of the 2025-2026 season at Pufferfish Villas. And we still have spots open. If you want to come and stay with us, we have spots open all the way through the season. And yeah, check it out if you want to come and check this out in person. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. We had, I won't say a lot of fun making it, but there's a lot of satisfaction in getting this done. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and never forget to live before you die.